is Sight for Right.
Hey everybody, Doug back at you with another episode of your Pennsylvania Dutch Minute. In the past, I've done some episodes on famous Pennsylvania Dutch people, some from history, some episodes about people that have influenced the language or influenced our culture. And previously, I did an episode on C. Richard Beam, right after he had passed away a couple years ago. And if you remember that episode, or if you haven't, you can go back and watch it. Dick was someone that really did a lot for the language in regards to maintaining it and preserving it for years to come, most definitely with his publication of his 12-volume Pennsylvania Dutch Dictionary, and tons of publications over the years out of Millersville. He worked diligently throughout his life to maintain the language and also pass it on for future generations. There is a contemporary of his that I haven't done a video about, and I will rectify that today. And along the same time period as Dick Beam, working, at that same time, was one Earl C. Haig. And if you know anything about the language, then you've probably heard his name before. If you haven't, then I'm introducing you today to another one of the contemporaries, not contemporaries, that's not the right word, one of the gentlemen that worked a lot in the 20th century to preserve the language and also, I think, get it out there for people to understand and read. Where Dick Beam worked a lot with, the dictionary project and doing that and working with the language. Earl Haig's contribution would be towards Pennsylvania Dutch literature and poetry. And I would like to read a couple things here. I'm going to read a quick bio about Earl C. Haig to give you a little bit of background knowledge about Earl. Earl, from what I could find, I couldn't find an exact birth date for him, but he was born in 1929, and I can't tell you where he was born. I've always heard from New England, Connecticut region, but let me read the biography that's been published multiple times about him. Earl C. Haig graduated from the University of Connecticut in 1952. Then he went on to attend the University of Heidelberg in Germany, and also 1952 and 1953. He earned his master's degree in German philology from Penn State in 1956, and from 1958 to 1999, he taught German, Pennsylvania German, and German and English composition at the Pennsylvania State University Schuylkill campus. He has authored multiple books, and a couple of them I'm going to talk about today, but those include a Pennsylvania German Reader and Grammar that was put out in 1982, the Pennsylvania German Anthology, 1988, and Pennsylvanisch Deutsche Jahr in 1990, and completed 100 years, an index of publications of the Pennsylvania German Society that came out in 1998, and he has authored the Pennsylvanisch Deutsche, Volume 1 and Volume 2, 2010, and then most recently 2018, I believe. But for the past 32 years, his Pennsylvania German column S9 Uhr Stick has appeared weekly in the Schuylkill County's premier community newspapers, in the Schuylkill Haven Call, and the Press and Herald and the West Schuylkill Herald. His 9 Uhr Stick alone, that would have been a huge contribution to Pennsylvania Dutch. But that's just one of the things that Earl did. I would like to talk a little bit about some of those publications. The Pennsylvania German Reader and Grammar. I have the book right here. I just flashed a picture of it too. This is a great publication. You can find it online. It's essentially a grammar book, teaches the grammar of the Pennsylvania Dutch. Earl always refers to, or likes to refer to it as Pennsylvania German more than Pennsylvania Dutch. We've had that discussion. It's okay. I'll flip between the two. But this is a great text. I have a copy of it. I reference it from time to time. It goes through the language like a typical grammar book would, or a book on the grammar of a language. There are reading selections in here to help you understand, whatever the lesson being addressed is. But the other thing then, of course, you can find copies of his 9 Uhr Stick pieces through the Pennsylvania German Society. You can check out their website for more information. And then recently, the publications of Die Pennsylvanische Deutsche, Volume 1 and Volume 2. These are huge books, and they are a collection of his work. And I mean, these are a wealth of knowledge and information on Pennsylvania Dutch literature. They're great. You can find them online. And also, the Pennsylvania German Anthology is a great great book. It's a collection of, well, it's an anthology of Pennsylvania Dutch literature, prose, and poetry. So if you're someone that is interested in improving your reading abilities in Pennsylvania Dutch, or you have reading abilities already in Pennsylvania Dutch, I recommend that you check out Earl Haig's stuff. It's out there. Just Google search Earl Haig, and you'll find ways to purchase his books through Amazon or Penn State Press. Masthof Press carries some of his stuff as well. He is still alive and kicking up there in Schuylkill County. You will see him from time to time. He's not as visible as maybe some other, as Dick Beam was, but that's his choice. But he's still doing stuff, and he's still kicking and keeping the Pennsylvania Dutch language going. We can't thank him enough for his years and years and years and years of work and the contribution that he has given to the Pennsylvania Dutch language. In a dedication page I read one time that Richard Beam wrote about Earl Haig, he said he has been one of the most prolific workers in the Pennsylvania Dutch vineyard. And I really like that line. And I agree with Dick on that. Earl Haig has done a lot, and I'm sure that his legacy will live on in years to come, even after he's passed, just by the sheer amount of work that he has published. And, had it not been for Earl, I think a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch literature and poetry would never have gotten in the hands of people to consume. And through his dedication and work, that has not been the case. He's been able to pass the language on to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. So thank you, Earl Haig, for your work, your dedication to our language and our culture. And check out his stuff. You can find it online, as I said. So, famous Pennsylvania Dutchman, someone that's really influenced our language and has helped cement it and its legacy into the future and for years to come. Gross Dank, Earl, for your work. So, if you have an idea for a future video, please email me. The bag's empty, or it's getting empty, I guess I should say. As promised, we'll have some cooking videos. I'm trying to set up some interviews with people so you don't have to look at my ugly mug all the time. In the future, hopefully, we'll be able to do that with people that know a lot more than me and get some different perspectives on here. If you would like to be a guest or you have an idea for a future video in that sense, please email me. The email address is there at the end. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so, and keep practicing your Pennsylvania Dutch and Mock Scoot.
Max, you good.